Old Norse, language of the Vikings. Today, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a lesson today on Old Norse. I'm going to be using Jesse L. Bjork's course book. I might follow it like lesson for lesson, or I might jump from lesson 1 to lesson 5. I don't know. Just depends on how the order goes and what makes the most sense to learn first, at least to me anyway. But I think I might just do lesson 1 and then all that good stuff. Yeah, I think I might just follow that. I think it might be pretty good to do that. Alright, we'll go nice and slow. I'll try to explain as much as I can. Obviously, I've already done this entire course book, so now I understand all the stuff that's being talked about here, but if you have any questions that I forgot to cover because I'm going too fast, or it's in my head and I forgot to explain it, let me know and I will do that. And I'll answer your comments, hopefully anyway. And yeah, should be good. Old Norse is North Germanic. It's related to English in the sense that they're both Germanic. However, English comes from West Germanic. So it's a little bit of a different branch. They all come from Proto-Germanic, and from Proto-Germanic we have East, West, and North. East we have Gothic. East we have Gothic. West we have Old English, and Old Frisian, Old Dutch, Old High German, Old Low German, all that good stuff. And then North Germanic we have Old Norse. And why am I forgetting this stuff? I think it is just, on here it just says Proto-Old Norse. So, pretty sure that's what it is. And then from Proto-Old Norse, it breaks into West Old Norse and East Old Norse. West Old Norse is what we'll be studying. That is what a lot of people, it's West Old Norse and then it's Old Icelandic. Old Icelandic is going to be our main study in this book, is Old Icelandic. It's still Old Norse. It's just more Icelandic than Norse, I guess. I know, it's hard to explain it, but that's what we'll be studying mainly anyway. Alright, cool. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, this one talks about cognates and borrowings. So a cognate is a word that is the same in meaning in a language, I think. It's like the same in meaning, but they're not always spelled the same, I think is what a cognate is. It should be anyway. Okay. Sweet, never mind, actually find it here. Cognate is a Latin term meaning having the same ancestor and is used to refer to words that derive from a common parent language. Old Norse and English both originate from Proto-Germanic, which was spoken in parts of Northern Europe between 500 BC and AD 100. This early language split into dialects with words retaining similarities. For example, the word father is fadar in Gothic, fader in Old English, and fader, I believe, is fader or fader in Old Saxon, fater in Old High German, fadir in Old Norse. So for this channel, we're going to be focused on Gothic, Old English, and Old Norse. So let's just hear the similarities between those ones. So you have Gothic, which is the oldest one that I'll be doing, is fadar. Then we have Old English, fader, and then we have Old Norse, fadir. Gothic and Old Norse are pretty close for the most part, because Old Norse did retain some of those archaic things. And then Old English, I don't know, I feel like Old English kind of like went off the deep end in changing. But anyway, these are some cognates that we have in, these are some cognates here between Old Norse and Modern English. Okay, we have sonor, S-O-N-R, son. Skip, ship, konungur, king, wapen, weapon, hond, hand, brother, lond, or lond, land, dager, day, litil, little, small, goder, good, far, few, further, first, wise, dauder, dead, longer, long. And then these are some verbs. Komma, to come, bera, to bear, segja, to say, vilja, to will, hava, to have, geva, to give, lata, to let, rida, to ride. Okay, those are cognates. Borrowings are when you borrow a word from another language. So, I don't know, say we borrowed the Old Norse word smar. Instead of using our usual small, we would now say smar, which would, in modern English, probably become, what did long A become? Long A became smare. So I guess it becomes smare, basically is what it'd be. We have like the smare pencil, if we borrowed it, of course. All right, let's see, what else do we have? Ooh. This is just a cool photo that shows some settlements. I don't know if you guys can see that super well. If you need to, you can zoom in on your phone, your computer. But those are, each dot represents a, what is it? I forgot what it meant. Yeah, each dot represents a Scandinavian settlement in England. Yeah, I mean, we know this because of the names of those settlements. What else do we have? The introduction's good. If you guys want me to read the whole introduction, yeah, I could totally do that. Oh, here we go. This is kind of cool. This is another cool little thing. Oops. Shows the Germanic tribes in England during that time. That's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. I think we're finally getting into it. Oh yeah, this is kind of important. Anglicizing Old Norse personal names. Sorry, my phone is super low. I forgot to use the tripod today, so it's not the best position, but that's okay. So when you anglicize Old Norse names, generally we're going to change like O/ and the O with a tail to just an O, and then Thorn and Ev, those are different. Thorn we change to a TH, and then Ev usually becomes a D. So in the name like Gouda becomes Gouda. Not Gouda cheese, but Gouda, the person. Gouda, G-Y-L-A becomes G-Y-D-A. And then stuff like Thor, which is Thorn, long O, R-R. We drop the R because usually we drop case endings, unless they're weak nouns, and you'll know what weak nouns are later. But that Thorn becomes TH, and the long O just becomes a normal O. That's how we usually anglicize names. Of course, you don't have to do it that way, but that's how most people anglicize them.